everyone, it's Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I've got two 6x8 holiday layouts for you again today. So for this one, I've cut 3 bits of paper. So I've cut a yellow rectangle, which is orange on the back. I've cut this sort of coral color triangle, and I've got a green triangle as well, and I'm going to place those all together stacked on top of each other at the top and the bottom of my page to create just a little bit of a background effect on my page. So I'm going to start off by doing this yellow one. It's orange on the back, but the front is yellow, and I'm just pre-applying the tape just so I'm all ready to go and everything is organized. And so the order I'm going to do that in is the big yellow rectangle goes first. So I'm just measuring how big this coral triangle is because it's the very top layer, and I don't want any of the under layers sticking out above it. So there's that little yellow triangle, and now the rest is easy because I can then just make sure that the top is flush on the green and just trim the excess off. And then the same with the coral. So just make sure that the top point that where it crosses over with the yellow is flush, and then trim off the excess. So no drama there. So I'm just going to pop that down on the page. And then I'm going to get my big ginormous scissors and trim off all that excess. And that's going to make a really nice, sweet little top I suppose border pattern on the paper, and I'm going to do the exact same thing down the bottom. I'm going to reverse up the order, so it's still going to be the coral on top, but I'm going to flip it so it's on the other side just to add a little bit of interest. And I have quite a few photos. I've got 5 photos for this layout. So these 2 photos in particular are obviously of my finished hairdo for the wedding that we are attending, and they are in 2x3 size, I think it is. If you had a 4x6 photos, there'd be 4 of those on the page. So yeah, 2x3. And then I've got that super sweet little mermaid, but it was just not, the photo was just a little bit too low down, so I just had to pull that up to fit the mermaid on properly. And when I have these 3 photos, now if these were on a page, there would be 8 of them, I think. So these are about, I have no idea. What would these be? If there were 8 of these on a page, there would be 1 by 1.5 maybe. But then once, you trim them down and what have you. So these 3 photos are sort of the process. So we were in Vietnam, and we paid for a beautician to come to our villa, and she gave us manicures and pedicures, and she did my hair. So this was getting all ready for the wedding that we were attending. I mean, I've got my journaling here. Now, I don't think you've seen the start of a new day recently. So I actually put what day we're up to. So this is day 9 of our holiday. So that's what that first little tiny journaling stub says, day 9. And then as you flick the other pages, it's all just standard journaling to follow on for that full day. So when the wedding is finished and we get up the next day, it will say day 10, which is about how many days we were away. We were away for about 12 days, I think, and we finish off the wedding and then we start to head home. So we had a lot more time before the wedding than we had after the wedding. Mostly because of the date when the wedding was. My mum, myself and my husband all had to get home to Australia in time for school to start. The holidays were finishing, so we all are teachers. So I'm using a real mix match of supplies. The papers that I used for the triangle effects, 2 of those papers are, I think, from the Snap collection. That greeny coral color, not coral, but greeny mint color is from Aldi, and so is the mermaid from Aldi. The hair bobby pins and the flowers and the check me out and the leaves and all that are from the reject shop. There's just a big bunch of everything. On a Raskog, just to my left, I have got filled with a kit, and it's more than I need. It's like all the ephemera that I think might work for this holiday, sort of tropical stuff and getaway holiday adventure stuff. And even then, when I got to this page, I still went to my stash and pulled out all of the and same with the next page you're about to see as well. I actually got an additional collection out of my stash that wasn't in my Raskog, just because the ephemera went really well with the layout. So I'm certainly not limiting myself to what's only in the Raskog, but having the Raskog there filled with kits, with a big massive kit, makes it a lot easier than trying to dig through the rest of my stash. And yeah, so this layout, because it's so photograph heavy, it ends up being quite busy, but that's okay. I think I'm finding that a lot of my layouts are ending up being quite busy. It's a tiny bit of a shame because it kind of covers all of that beautiful layered paper that I put on at first, but we do that sometimes. We just get carried away, and that's okay. The end product is very nice, so I'm happy with that. So that's layout number 1. This is layout number 2. It's quite different. I kind of modeled this one off one of Audrey Yeager's layouts that she created quite a while ago. I just have always loved this design of this layout, and I think I've done it a few times actually in my 12 by 12 size as well. So these are a Kaiser Craft collection. They're not quite 6 by 6 size. They're a little bit fatter, which is perfectly fine, but I just needed to trim those down to make the full 6 by 8 page. And then, well, I was just about to glue them together, then realized I wasn't quite ready for that yet. So I've put that floral piece away because I'm going to cut this kind of triangle effect out on with this black and gold spot. I realized that cut there doesn't quite work because it's not wide enough for the actual design. So unfortunately I have to make another cut, which is totally fine. It's just paper, but it would be so much easier to use the scraps if I had have only made one cut in the first place. But anywho, cutting it again now, and this one's going to work out correctly. And so that's going to go in this diagonal across there, almost like I've folded the piece of paper down. And then just sticking those two together, as you saw before, I'd already adhered it, so it was ready to go. Measured that to 8 inches, and then I'm going to trim off the excess of the floral paper. Then I'm going to adhere that triangle part that I just cut, sort of on an angle across the page there like that. So it looks a little bit like I've folded that corner down. It's not a perfect, if I had folded the corner, that's not exactly how it would have looked, but it gives the illusion more than enough. You sort of get that feel regardless. So yeah, these 3 pieces of pattern paper are from a Kaiser Craft collection. I think it's a Japanese-based collection, but for Vietnam, I still was able to use quite a bit of it to give that same sort of vibe. So that's okay. So that's all on there. And then I've got my 3 photos. Now, ideally, I would have liked these to go sort of in a straight line, but too much of the corners of the little photos were getting cut off. They didn't quite fit. So to have them fit correctly, I needed to put one little photo sort of down and one little photo up. It's not my ideal way I would have had these laid out, but it's fine and it is what it is. They look good in the end, so that's okay. So this is the start of the wedding, essentially. We are having cocktails at a wine bar in Old Town of Hoi An. My husband is in the bridal party. He is the best man. So the best man, the groom, and the other groomsman is here, but the bride and the bridesmaids is not. All of the guests arrive here first. This is the place where all of the guests need to meet. This is a wedding where children are not invited, so there is literally one child at the wedding. We're not 100% sure how that happened. Obviously, no one made a fuss or anything like that. Perhaps they couldn't organise any form of babysitter, which makes sense. That's why my parents are actually here. We paid to bring my parents over just literally so they could babysit Jack on the night of the wedding. And I know a few other families did that as well. Anywho, that's fine. So this is like the just sort of pre-drinks, depending on how early you got there, depending on how many pre-drinks you got. I think we were there for about 5 minutes. We had one glass of champagne, and then we were hustled off to the next phase of the wedding. So you will need to stay tuned for my next layout share or my next process video as to what phase 2 of this amazing wedding was all about. So this collection that I am decorating, the ephemera I am using, this is from the Reject Shop. It is the Mimosa Sundays collection, which is a Rosie Studio collection. I had not originally put that into my kit for my holiday. My holiday kit was mostly sort of actual holiday themed or tropical type themed. But when I realized that the whole purpose of this particular photo was about having your pre-drinks at a wine and cocktail bar, I realized I wanted to get the champagne bottle and the champagne glass in on the page somehow. So I was really happy that I remembered about Mimosa Sundays and I could pull this collection out. Do you find that? Do you find you've just got so much stuff in your stash that sometimes you can forget it? Janet from RTS Scrapbooking has the most amazing memory for her stash that I have ever seen. She just knows exactly what she's got, where she's got it, where it came from, when she bought it. She's just incredible. So that is certainly not me. I forget what I have in my stash. My stash is tiny. It's not even that big, but I just cannot keep track of it all. So that's my aim actually over this isolation period, to get into my stash and really get familiar with what I've got so that I can know when I'm making a layout exactly which collection I want to grab off my shelf. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment, and I'll catch you next time.